In spite early attempts to range accessing to treat, Denmark now has the largest ratio of babies unborn via assisted reproduction technique, artwork, in the planet. Trip any garden in Denmark and the chances are lot of the family game down there were unborn with IVF or funder semen. Denmark leads the planet in the use of art to construct families, an alleged 10% of all born engage such a techniques. Everyone in Denmark knows who has lost via IVF and speaking on it is no ban. Chats at the school's gates or the chapel often rotate about the origins of human beings as family. Pia old woman Christensen, mom to couple-year-old Sarah, thanks to IVF and funder semen, is one of a increasing quantity of solitary female manufacturing use of Denmark's permissive IVF rules. Following lack to discover a appropriate affiliate to dad her family, she solved to go it one, while she was 39. I believe he's large how female eventually include the top brush, we can select to be pregnant woman if we wish to. I believe how the issue is not definitely how female dong ti wish the men but how the men dong ti wish to perpetrate to possessing family. He's each making it recital or not possessing family at all. I was happy to be pregnant woman in the at first circle of the echo. I recall giver childbirth and was fair so thankful. I sat in the oratory of the clinic weeping. I fair necessary to be thankful sometime. Human beings are really outdoor on it. I went to a christening not too long ago and I wonder since human beings aware how I got Sarah the way I did, they were expressive me, about, we're hard for else infant. You aware, we got the one in IVF and we're hard once again. You dong ti definitely include to be really shut to include how talk. The childbirth of Troels Renardstjeg in 1983 noted the begin of Denmark's travel of fair else advanced nation hard to do the youthful technique job superior to proper the planet recording mount for art born. Present, just Israel challenges Denmark's IVF corona. It has far more than cycles of IVF per millionth population, on 5,000 compared in Denmark's 2,700. But a lot reduce nature childbirth bet and high IVF successful bet tool how Denmark wins on the ratio of babies in the people unborn thanks to reproduction technique. Professor Claus Wyding Andersen, at Copenhagen's College Clinic, was portion of the crew how purchased IVF to Denmark. He attributes its popular to lavish country financing. It reflects how we include a social public health thoroughness framework how is profitable. Whatever that is treat in Denmark is complementary, complete halt. We had the domestic debate how the social public health thoroughness framework conducted thoroughness of a nasal that is bender to one party, or heirs that adhere of, wherever mainly you are not patient, so it was cute simple to tell, so of year we requirement to involve echo. Cash doesn't increase on trees in Denmark but the is the Nordic framework. All is readily to pay a lot in tax but all is use. Dr. Sebastian Moore, of Sweden's Karlstad College, has accompanied the increase of reproduction technique. Denmark has reproducible himself as a specific type of nationality. The country funding it, the human beings with it, the care professionals' advocacy about it, playback has be a domestic draft quite rather than fair a draft of the person. But he points out how on in lavish country financing comes country monitoring of accessing to echo. Comprehensive criteria are not published but just human beings recognized to be fitting parents are adopted. Female above 40 dong ti get country funded treat and such above 45 are as well prohibited of access IVF informally. Dr. Moore argues how the judgment-making trial should be more than social. He is studying accounting records of IVF financing decisions and says he has seen testimony how human beings who are deliberate too much incapable are rejected country financing. It didn't utilize to be the path. For the 1980s and 1990s, IVF and some reproduction technologies went substantially uncontrolled in Denmark. Doctors solved who should get treat, initially just offer heterosexuality couples the opportunity to beget. Yet, individual clinics were complementary to consider nobody, and whatever was probable, surrogate motherhood, currently prohibited in Denmark, IVF with funder semen, and accessing for lesbian female. IVF became contentious. Drastic feminists complained how it intended medically learned men were commodore-defying females' bodies. Time Public Conservative Party as well objected to the technique. But in 1997 by the government gun the Act on Synthetic Fertilization. Solitary female and lesbians, who for years had been capable to pay for IVF and funder fertilization, were now prohibited. The new law sparked a struggle for equity of accessing, but in the meanwhile, other spotty embrasure. The law just prohibited doctors of transport out the procedures, that led to a boomers in expert obstetrician-led clinics. One such installation, the Stork Clinic, mentioned following its obstetrician founding member Nina Stork, became a big pain for solitary and lesbian female of through Europe needing to begin families. Fair 5% of its clients present are Dutch. This law outdoor up the opportunity for entrepreneurs to set a hospital wherever human beings could use these services although the factual intent of the law was to eliminate human beings, says Dr. Morocco, these clinics showed how it could be made crucially. In 2007 the present art law was gone, providing accessing to country-funded IVF independently of a female's conjugal statute or sexiness. Its symbolism Denmark out as one of the largest permitting countries in the planet in regulation of who can get IVF, and the many decades of discussion include molded Dutch community in one in that largest human beings supporting by the government's stance. The fruitfulness production is now one of Denmark's largest success supply, and the nation is as well household to the planet's largest semen banking, Cryos World, that deals in customers about the planet. Yet, as the quantity of Dutch female access IVF and fertilization to include family has grown up, so has the clearance. Rasmus Ulstrup Larsen say how recent year he was the largest despised man in Copenhagen. A 28-year-old top high school economy tutor, he has be the hardly shill for a chapter of Dutch community how remnant deep uncomfortable by the public changes driven on by Denmark's permissive assisted playback laws. In special, several worry about on the increasing quantity of solitary female, such as Pia Old Woman Christensen, possessing family. The growth of recital mums is a outcome of a sociologic evolutionary. We see there in Denmark an individualist ethical of personality realization. He's the identical as the top divorce rate bet. He's the identical type of civilization how cultivates both of things. We requirement more than overall goals, a more than share way of residing instead of the individualist way of perception lifetime. But he accepts same's fight a loser fight. Growing numbers of solitary Dutch female are possessing babies in funder semen. The ratio of babies unborn in Denmark thanks to reproduction technique is constantly growing. And as length as Denmark's fruitfulness bet corset cheap, by the government is potential to hold support treat how helps the people to increase.